Hi, everyone. It is September 2nd, 2021. I've been posting on weather events, weather modification, geoengineering for 12 years. And I didn't then imagine what I would be seeing on a daily basis 12 years later. I don't know if any of you know about the flooding that has taken place, the tornadoes that have taken place up in the Northeast. I'm sitting here in Montana. I cried. I can't believe it. But let's start with Spain.
Písale ahí. ¿Puedes pisar en un coche y en otro? Ahí, pásame la cuerda. Espera un momento. Pásame la cuerda. Ahí. Ya no va.
How about an update on Ida and the aftermath in Louisiana?
Yeah, it's getting worse now. Now we don't have no water, no nothing now, no ice, nothing to keep anything to survive.
A lot of marsh grass, a lot of snakes. All of our propane tanks, our ice machines, everything that is under the camp just got swept away.
Survive. Ain't the prettiest, but we'll be back. We'll be back. As long as it's more fun than work, I'm all in.
No one is sure when things will get back to normal. You can kiss that goodbye. Tennessee, well, in Williamson County, there wasn't much flooding, but there was enough to trap a woman in a tree.
Deputies captured the rescue on their body camera.
JC, she's right here. I can't get to her. Hold on!
Called out to her. She answered. She was the opposite side of the creek from where he was. The water was running quite rapidly at the time.
Hey, how are you?
Other units came in on the other side of the river and were able to locate her in the water and pulled her up out of the water into safety.
Yep, we're good. We're coming up.
Liliana was the only person in the car, and we're told by family they are already working with crews to retrieve her car from the water.
Well, how's your day been so far? It's been rough, hasn't it?
Liliana.
Yeah, it's been rough. How about the flash flooding that occurred in Utah? And this is all happening at the same time.
crazy images developing this morning. Heavy rain leading to flash flooding in Hanksville. A small Utah town at the intersection near Capitol Reef has been hit really hard.
Fox 13's Scott McCain joins us live now. And Scott, the town has a long day of cleaning up to do.
Maybe several days, and it's a situation of rain, go away down there in Hanksville and some other portions of southern Utah, really taking the brunt of these most recent storms. But overall, it's been a really rough summer for parts of central and southern Utah. You know, while most of the rest of the state is dealing with severe to extreme drought, they have been getting more than their fair share of rain. It's led to flooding and other kinds of problems. And again, some new video supplied to Fox 13 News overnight shows just an impressive amount of water. National Weather Service forecasters say that in some areas it's up to 6 feet deep, and they've also issued multiple flash flood warnings. Now, currently, State Route 24 and 95, they're both closed. This is from Canesville to Hanksville along the Fremont River. Also from Hanksville south to Lake Powell along the Dirty Devil River. National Weather Service forecasters, again, they're asking everyone to avoid these areas. And also a simple rule of thumb, if you're driving around there and you have to be in that area, but you see standing water on the roads, flooded areas, turn around, don't drown.
Turn around, don't drown. Well, New Jersey. No audio. I have never seen so much destruction take place overnight in so many states on such a large, wide scale. I don't even know what to say. But it's bad. It's really bad. Unbelievably bad. Well, Northeasterners, now you get to know what those in Houston and Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi feel. Because I look at these and I think Katrina and Isaac and the flooding in Baton Rouge in 2016 and Harvey and but this is up in New Jersey. Okay. Well. Okay. Philadelphia.
Those rescues are happening right now. And Bill, in the last 5 minutes, we learned that there have been 5 more deaths reported in now. Those were in Elizabeth, New Jersey, now taking the total to 14. And remember, all of this started down south. I want to bring in our colleague, Morgan Chesky. He's been in Louisiana all week. Morgan, where you are, they are still reeling. We're 4 days out from the rain hitting where you are, and the damage is still devastating. Talk us through what the recovery's like. Is everybody accounted for?
I'll say yes. 1 person died. But look at the images of Philadelphia. This is in New Jersey, Somerville. There are so many communities, neighborhoods in many different states underwater. And they are, yeah, this is Hurricane Ida. God. Hurricane Ida. And of course, climate change. What is that saying? If you don't stand if you don't stand up for anything, you'll fall for anything. But that was New Jersey.
A state of emergency has been declared in New York. The city tonight underwater following record-breaking rainfall. The historic weather system whipped up by the remnants of Hurricane Ida.
On the New York subway, a waterfall gushes into the tunnel as a train pulls into the station. Commuters dodging the torrent as they disembark. Up above, the streets are flooded. In Brooklyn, pedestrians wade through the water as cars float through the streets of Queens and at Staten Island.
Oh my God!
The deadlocked door of this ground floor apartment, no match against the wall of water. Hurricane Ida not letting her presence in the Big Apple go unnoticed, dumping more than 80 millimetres within an hour, sending the city into a state of emergency in the worst natural disaster since Superstorm Sandy in 2012. In New Jersey, families fled for higher ground. At least 9 homes destroyed by a tornado, with reports of widespread damage across the northeast.
I have declared a state of emergency in the city of Passaic. We have too many areas where the flooding has gotten so bad that cars are stuck and we have bodies underwater.
Play also had to be suspended at the US Open. The roof was closed, but that didn't stop water pouring into the commentary box.
And weathering the storm here in New York City. That's inside.
Kate Creedon, 9 News.
How about we switch gears and I just remind everybody of what was taking place, in the 60s? This is President Johnson.
It lays the predicate and the foundation for the development of a weather satellite that will permit man to determine the world's cloud layer and ultimately to control the weather, and he who controls the weather will control the world. It lays.
Wow. What did he say? Sorry. Oh. Let's just check it out again, okay? Just one more time.
World's cloud layer, and ultimately to control the weather, and he who controls the weather will control the world.
Yeah. He who controls the weather will control the world. New York, New York. It's a hell of a town.
I ain't going to blockhead. I'm outside here in the middle of the road. We in the middle of the road. We in the middle of the road, kid. We in the middle of the road. The middle of the road.
We're in the middle of the road.
Well, officials in New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania really are still taking stock of the situation. We know that there are at least 14 people who have died as a result of this storm, 8 of them in New York where people were trapped in their basement, at least 5 here in New Jersey. A family was found also in their apartment. All of the details are just coming together. Pennsylvania also is expecting to report multiple fatalities, but not releasing a number as of yet, because there they are still in the process of rescuing people from homes and cars. The situation here has just caught so many people off guard. There was a flash flooding alert for New York that was issued in the evening on Wednesday, but it's just not something that New Yorkers are accustomed to dealing with. And
ain't that true? New York City bus.
No, man. What the fuck? Oh, shit. Feet up, feet up, feet up. Oh, my feet are up. My feet have been up. Feet up. Fuck it, that's how we do it. What the fuck? Are you fucking kidding me?
Can't tell you how many times I was standing on that platform at 28th Street. Unbelievable.
Over here, I hope he gets there's like an Audi or something.
Wow.
I'm gonna go home until all of you can get. That is where, like, all for one. That's like a ocean for me.
Oh my God, the cars are floating. This car is moving around in the water. These cars are stuck. That car is stuck. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was stuck. Oh my God. It's right up, right. More rescue's coming. This is terrible. My God. Look at this. Look at that tornado.
Holy what the
I'm talking from the hill. I'm all right up there.
You're good up there. Anything that's on the top or facing the entrance, you're okay. If you're over here on the side, there's like an Audi or something, they've got to move to get inspected.
What is that?
It's so overwhelming, man. In Queens. I grew up in Queens. This doesn't happen. Oh, but when man controls the weather, this can happen.
You need to go before we can't get this door. Oh, you? Oh, shit. Oh, this shit. The cars are floating. That car started floating. Yo. This is what climate change looks like, guys. This is what climate change does.
Oh, my God. Well, the climate change indoctrination has been very, very successful. Very successful. Just want to show you a few captures that I caught. This was yesterday. 9/11. I mean 9/1. September 1st. September 1st. When they were getting pummeled. What time was it? It was at 1:20 p.m. Well, my time, so it was 3:20 p.m. in the Northeast. Hang on. See these frequencies hitting this storm? Extremely low frequencies hitting this storm. See the pulse of Doppler radar? See the manufactured nanotechnology, the manufactured cloud and precipitation taking place in Alabama, or where's that? Yeah, Alabama. Nanotechnology being used to create weather. Electromagnetic frequencies can intensify storms, can steer storms. And don't you wish people would look into it? All of the little specks that you see glistening on satellite, nanobots. Nanobots. Okay. Boy, I've done this so many times. Let's just take a look. Here. Later on. Wow. The storm here in Alabama got worse, or bigger, and it's filling out in Arkansas. look at the frequencies that you got going in the northeast. Right here. And they're different from the last frequencies that you saw. Electromagnetic frequencies. When man can control them, well, man has a choice. Bring about good or bring about destruction. And man is bringing about destruction. Now, if you have any experience watching or looking at radar, satellite, you, over the years, you will have noticed significant changes. The electromagnetic frequencies still blasting away up north. And this is at 3:30 a.m. when you had that massive rainfall up north. Doppler radar blasting away. So, meteorologists will never tell you the truth. Let me just, those specks that you saw. Well, first, let me show you. High power, extremely low frequencies, which are the long, straight bands that you see on radar. Extremely low frequencies. The high power, extremely low frequency radiation generated by modulated high frequency heating from Doppler radar of the ionosphere can cause earthquakes, cyclones, and localized heating. So many methods that man has now to create what everybody is living in New York City. I didn't want to click on accept all cookies, but characteristics of carbon black dust as a large-scale tropospheric heat source. Have you seen the blackness in your sky? Atmospheric heat dumping carbon black dust. And of course we have the hurricane and tornado control device. We've had congressional hearings on weather modification, but hey, just deny it. Just keep calling everybody a conspiracy theorist so that you inform them that, the CIA got your brain, huh? Because that conspiracy theorist term came from the CIA to shut people up about JFK's assassination. So all of you mouthing conspiracy theorists, you reveal you've lost your brain and you've handed it over to someone else. You can't think independently. You're a robot mouthing what the CIA wants you to mouth. Conspiracy theorist. But at this point, it's really so obvious that it hurts. Geoengineering parts 1, 2, and 3. Yes, hearing. I don't know the actual date of the hearing, but it was the congressional second session, 2009, 2010. But all of these nanobots right here. Now this is real time, and let's have a closer look. All of these little flecks. That's nanotechnology that you're looking at. Because this is not how Mother Nature creates cloud. They have littered the atmosphere with nanobots. And someone at a supercomputer can literally just put in codes into that computer and activate the nanobots to bring about the destruction that we are seeing here. The politics and ethics of the Hall weather machine. Storrs Hall's weather machine is a relatively simple nano-fabricated machine system that has significant consequences. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but why don't I just, well, you can read how they work. Transparent balloons reflect sunlight. Each balloon filled with hydrogen includes solar cells, a small computer, a GPS receiver to keep track of its location, and an actuator to occasionally move the bisecting membrane between vertical and horizontal orientations. There's 4 versions of this weather machine. The problems. Some concern that the weather machine might accidentally cause catastrophic weather. Unintended effects, including trivial ones like rain, or rain on parades, or more serious ones like floods and tornadoes. Awesome weather of mass destruction, bouncing concentrated solar energy around the globe, making it impossible to set cities on fire. By fire, I mean the type of fire caused by dropping a nuclear bomb per second for as long as you want. The potential for abuse is rather large. Fully deployed, such a weather machine could become a planet-sized telescope or laser. But if you thought version 3 of this weather machine was a weapon of mass destruction, version 4 makes them and the Transformers look like children's toys. Unimaginable weaponization of the Hall weather machine. What are we doing? Why do we continue to ignore this? Why? Storrs Halls. Actually, you can listen to the guy himself. The weather machine, nano-enabled climate control for the Earth. Here he is, the genius. Oh, and there are geniuses that develop things. And then, at the end of his talk, right here, which is not very long, he then talks about, well, government's using this. And then he cuts himself off. He says, well, and then he just decides to go on. Let me just stop here and thank Cam Santana for focusing on this, which we see now all over the world. Oops, so much rain, we can't handle it. The drains can't handle it. They're overflowing and they're pushing out water. They can reverse the drainage system and pump out massive amounts of water and flood neighborhoods. So, there are so many basement apartments in New York. What are these people going to do? What is everybody going to do? The death toll now, the last I heard, was 23 in New Jersey and New York.
Well, Jessica and Mary, the governor and the mayor actually just left this location. As you mentioned at the top of the broadcast, the death toll here in New York City stands at 9 people, the youngest victim just 2 years old. Nearly all of them, according to the police commissioner, died in basement apartments that flooded, including the one right here behind me. Looking at this destruction in daylight, you can only imagine the terror this 43-year-old mother and her 22-year-old son must have felt in their final minutes. Floodwaters tearing through the wall of their basement apartment, trapping them inside.
I was standing right in the porch right here. The wall broke open and the water started gushing down.
Next-door neighbor Mahen Singh watched in horror himself, the flooding at least 4 feet high here on 183rd Street in Jamaica, Queens.
The next thing I heard, a loud scream. It's devastating. Like I said, I was right out here. I witnessed the whole thing.
Did anybody even get to?
Nobody could help them. They were very helpless.
This morning, remnants of their lives litter the ground outside. Mattresses, a flip-flop. Governor Hochul and Mayor de Blasio came to survey the damage for themselves.
And they couldn't control themselves. Climate change. We've got to have resilient infrastructure. All of what these conferences, you listen to them, and what are they talking about? They're talking about Agenda 2030. This is your new life. Your governor said, the new governor of New York said, get used to it, essentially. That's a paraphrase. Get used to this, because it's going to be happening more and more often. This kind of flooding, radical change does not come about naturally. It does not come about organically. It comes about when man is creating that change. You want to ignore weather modification? How many of you, myself included, have been trying to at least have a conversation with people about weather modification? You know, at this point, it's utterly disgraceful that people are not taking in that what they are experiencing, it's coming about because man is using weather as a weapon. Man is using weather as a weapon. Now, you know, here, operational defenses through weather control in 2030. Now, this is a military document. What are they talking about? Nanotechnology and the weather machine. Hall's weather machine. And how it's just going to be able to, well, in this little abstract, it does talk about how these nanobots create stratus clouds. Mainstream media has reported on weather modification, controlling the global weather. Wow. Atmospheric and environmental research. How to make artificial rain. This is a translated article, translated into English. How to make artificial rain. About how to make artificial clouds in the Earth's atmosphere. How about, Spacecast 2020. Read all about it. how they are controlling everything that, look up electromagnetic frequencies, all of the geoengineering, the nanoparticulates, the aluminum, the barium, the strontium, the lithium, all of which help to make clouds. Oh, my God. This weather modification, the ultimate weapon, Air War College. Weather modification, the ultimate weapon? Well, a whole millions in this country are experiencing that ultimate weapon right now. So many, as I speak, about weather modification operations with NEXRAD, Doppler radar. Why do you see Doppler radar blasting away? Aquarius radar. What do we have here? Powerful radar. Rainfall amounts increase. Microwave energy is a new form of weather modification. PG&E, Pacific Gas and Electric Company, has notified people of their weather modification programs in the newspapers. You know, weather modification by artificial satellites. Read it. Tells you how they can make tornadoes, create them by moving air masses in different directions or in the same direction at different speeds with electromagnetic frequencies. But it also tells you how they can actually bring about weather on demand. On demand. The International Journal of Meteorology, November 2010. Let's see. What was one of those articles? Artificial rainmaking by laser systems. The unrealized history of the military's utilization of weather as a weapon, the real father of weaponized weather, and the secret hurricane modification program nobody has ever heard of. I'll link it below. Here, find out some history. Sinister secret control. And now for the weather. Complements of extremely low frequencies, which we see blasting away all over the place. You want to check out some history? How about it? Producing rain, 1891. Myers, a rainmaker. It was at the turn of the century. San Diego, the rainmaker, flooded out and killed and destroyed an awful lot of an area of San Diego at the turn of the century. It's you know, we're at war. The destruction is just increasing. How are they capable of pulling this off? They're capable when the majority of the populace remains in denial. And at this point, yeah, I would say most of them are forcing their willful ignorance and keeping all of those who want to educate them away with their hostility and their arrogance. It's really remarkable how those who are just utterly stupid are arrogant with their stupidity. Like, are they that unaware of what they do? Attempts to create artificial rain. These are very, very, very old articles. Scientists claim 9 new ways to make snow. Rain and snow to order. Bombing clouds with dry ice. These scientists have made rain. You're not going to see any of these articles. Not today. Rain of death experiments. able to modify cold winter weather in northern parts of the United States. Drought snapped by rains and snow. Rainmaker on the job. Possibilities of modifying lightning storms in the northern Rockies. I want to cry again. I am so tired. So many people are without homes, and they won't be able to recoup. Certainly when you rent an apartment in the basement of some brownstone or some apartment building, now the rents are so high. Strange effects of radio waves. Who owns winds? Rainmakers in legal trouble, that's right. There's law, weather modification law. There's been lawsuits. I think the first one was in 1950. Because farmers were getting pummeled by all of the experiments they were conducting to create rain. Weather is new weapon. Now, I don't know. Can I read this? 1958? I think that's 1958. The weather can be used as a military weapon. And someday it may be entirely feasible for the United States to induce torrential rains or prolonged droughts in the Soviet Union. Well, Russia, China, Brazil, United States, Australia, they all have the technology now. And are we at war with other countries? I think they're all working in unison to bring about their fabulous New World Order. Here, control of weather, 1954. Rain as weapon. Rain as weapon. That's 54 or 64. Huh. 1954. My God. Well, weather being used as a weapon, it's been going on forever. It's been going on forever. Well, not forever. You know what I mean. It certainly has been going on for decades and decades. These are very old. These are like seven decades ago. 7 decades ago. Well, even commercial companies are engaged. Where is it? Weather on demand, making it rain. Weather on demand. Yeah, they're making a lot of money. Bloomberg, mainstream media. And still people think, you're a conspiracy theorist. When you see all of the destruction that's taking place, what can I say? If you're not upset about it, good for you. I don't know. But you're not human. You've lost your heart. Lasers can be used to steer lightning in mid-strike. Laser light can not only trigger lightning, but redirect it, causing it to strike in the same place over and over and over again. How about those fires caused by lightning? Laser-induced weather or water condensation in air. Artificial rain-making system. Weather modification. Water, 3 cents per acre-foot. You could buy rain. This was back in 1957. 1957. Laser-assisted water condensation in the atmosphere. Modulating precipitation. Short pulse lasers for weather control. That's why you see the Doppler radar. On radar, you see those NEXRAD stations pulsing. They pulse. Atmospheric heating. Weather modification by carbon dust absorption. Enhance precipitation over interior land areas. Alter extratropical cyclones. Inhibit high daytime summer temperatures and severe weather. Prevent frost. Speed up snowmelt. And here is the paper. And it tells you they can make clouds much bigger. They can enhance rainfall. Sprinkle that carbon dust. It's cheap, inexpensive. They can create heat waves. I don't know what to do anymore. I can't. Just watching this utter destruction over and over and over again.
Hi, everyone. I'm Diane Macedo. You've been watching officials in New York and previously officials in New Jersey providing an update on the storm damage from remnants of Ida. New York Governor Kathy Hochul is now stressing that New York streets are vulnerable to rising floodwater. She says, we've never seen flooding like this before, but we should expect to going forward. And she's calling on improving draining systems and other infrastructure improvements to do that. Currently, subway and rail systems are still not fully functioning, but Hochul says the President Biden, has offered the state of New York any assistance.
Central Park. I can't listen to all of the lies. Central Park got over 3 inches in 1 hour. Over 3 inches.
Standstill as many inches of rain, 3.15 inches of rain in just 1 hour last night caused these vehicles to start to flood. This man here, Hadi, his vehicle was stranded. You can see inside, Hadi, water brought up near to the top of the car, leaves on your steering wheel. Your car potentially not salvageable at this point, right, Hadi?
Not at all. Happened last night after I dropped in my resume, I was looking for a job. I come here, I thought maybe it's have an accident. Then suddenly water was coming up and up. Next door cars come on and knock my door to survive his child. I said, as you can see, I opened the door. I said, suddenly a lot of water come up to my knees. I said, as you can see, my car is flooding too. I cannot help. At least go other side, so somebody can help you. And I'm trying to call 911, also no connection. Nothing.
And Hadi's been waiting since 7 a.m. this morning for a tow truck. There's no...
Tell me, how is it possible that all of this... You're driving through... I know these roads. I lived on the Upper West Side. I'm a New Yorker. So you're cutting through from west to east or east to west sides of Manhattan, and you are suddenly inundated in so much water. We hear it now the water just came out of nowhere. The water just rose so quickly. And you have so many areas of New York, of Philadelphia. Interstates are closed. Then tornado well, tornadoes all over the place, but this one is, I believe, in New Jersey.
Were forewarned and therefore did the right thing, fortunately, and they took it seriously. I think 2015 shook everybody up in our county when the straight line winds hit, similar to a tornado, and had devastating damage as well. So I think people
about that.
Yeah, there was definitely touched down in a lot of different areas, as you can see on the film that you're showing now. And from what I saw today, a lot of houses. I mean, I don't even have a total number of it, but the houses that I've seen was probably upwards of 25 or 30. Some totally gone, some partially gone, some still with trees overhanging in dangerous situations. But it was really devastating and very, very, very scary for the residents.
And I also want to bring in ABC News senior investigative reporter.
Against this, it was worse than Hurricane Sandy, and I was struck too by something that we heard from Governor Kathy Hochul, who said it wasn't just the coastal areas that were hit this time, but rather people who live away from the water.
And how? Please start thinking. Okay, hurricanes, when they made landfall, they would begin to just, die off. For some reason, they're continuing with a destructive force that you have just witnessed, with a destructive force like this, and they're inland doing this. I don't... People really have lost the ability to think. They've lost the ability to think. They just don't want to think. They've stopped thinking. Look at this. This is Philadelphia area.
Expressway. Hi, Chad.
We're here at 22nd and Vine, and just look at it. The water's seemingly going nowhere. You have trees, debris. You have to assume that is clogging drains below the water, making the receding of this very difficult. A major problem here. We're talking about the Schuylkill cresting at a record high, but a major problem why we're seeing so much floodwater here on the Vine Street Expressway is because PennDOT officials tell me that a pumping station right here at 22nd and Vine failed. It broke. So it's not able to pump that water out of here underground and get it off the roadway.
And isn't it interesting? The same thing occurred in Detroit about 6 weeks ago, where it was, I can't remember, is it 70? I don't know. But 2 interstates flooded. The water didn't drain, and it stayed like that for days. And now, the same thing happens in the Philadelphia region.
So officials now simply have to wait until this water recedes. When that will happen, officials can't tell me. We also don't know how far it goes down here when you go down the Vine Street Expressway, how far the flood water goes, but we'll be keeping an eye on that. But, I got to tell you, officials want people, if you can't come into the city, do not. It is congested here. Roads are flooded everywhere. They want people to stay away. When we were coming down here...
All right, they're not getting that this is deliberate. Oh, man. Wow. This is in, I think, Great Neck, Long Island.
The rain's stopping. Cars going in? What am... Is he joking? Wow. Oh my god, what is this person doing? No.
Great Neck, Long Island. Another news report of just devastation. This was in Pennsylvania. Tornadoes, flooding, 4 found dead in Elizabeth, New Jersey apartment complex. So many areas, guys, so many areas have been hit bad. Overnight. Where is that little spot? Can't see it. New Jersey. Holy shit. Rescues. Look at all of these homes. Oh. Philadelphia. And in military documents, what do they say? It's a great spoofing technique. They can bring about weather and people will just think it came about naturally or forced through climate change. We can bring this on and no one will know we're using a weapon. Huge apartment buildings flooded out. And they could easily say, you know, those that lived on floors where there was no flooding, they could easily just say, well, the foundation has weakened and the entire apartment building is no longer habitable. Too bad for you. Find another place to live. Like these. Philadelphia area. Major roads closed. Roads closed all over the place. Transportation, well, came to a halt, but some of it is back in service. But you do this to areas like this, and New York City and New Jersey, Long Island, you literally, there was a travel ban in New York, which people are getting so used to being controlled. They're so used to being controlled now. Flooding from Ida. Please, God, what is wrong with people that they believe the crap that they hear? How? Well, it doesn't take much to just believe the lies. Really doesn't. Tornadoes were massive, but man can bring them about. I know I'm supposed to be putting up videos that only last 2 minutes. I can't. It's bad. It's really bad. And now it's going on. Have you forgotten about Spain already, and Utah, and Louisiana, and Mississippi, and oh, and I know there's a lot more that I'm missing. A lot more.
Tornado ripped through Mullica Hill, which is a community in Gloucester County. You can see the damage that the home after home suffered there. As Christine Ilito from our sister station WPVI shows us, some houses completely destroyed.
So we're in Mullica Hill, and this is...
Yep. Well, this is the new world. This is, you know, you're hearing it from your government officials. They're telling you, get used to it. Get used to this. Get used to being destroyed. Get used to it. Hoboken. Hoboken. Right across from Manhattan.
City. The remnants of Hurricane Ida are devastating the city's infrastructure. Moments ago, Mayor Bill de Blasio declared a state of emergency due to record-breaking rain. 3 inches fell in just 1 hour tonight, according to the National Weather Service. Most subway lines are shut down, and across the region, buildings are flooded, streets are impassable. Emergency officials here in New York City also confirm they're getting calls tonight from people all over the city needing to be rescued from rising water. Tonight, in Northern California, the massive Caldor fire keeps burning. So far, it's scorched over 200,000 acres in the California-Nevada Alpine region, destroying at least 700 homes. More than 53,000 people have been forced to evacuate. As many as 34,000 buildings and homes are being threatened as firefighters try to keep the blaze away from densely populated areas around Lake Tahoe. And they're facing challenges from both nature and the pandemic. Strong winds, gusts up to 45 miles an hour forecast for tonight. One of the strike teams battling the flames is now also dealing with a COVID outbreak. Ski resorts in the area are using snow machines to try to beat back the embers that are sparking new flames. Governor Gavin Newsom of California spoke with my NBC News colleague Steve Patterson earlier tonight. He brought up the connection between the massive wildfire and climate change.
If you don't believe in science, gotta believe you're on.
I fucking hate him. I swear. I can't, you know, I am so done seeing all of this destruction. And all right, I am, you know, I know what it is to lose everything. I know what it feels like, and I know what living in survival mode feels like, and I know what it feels like to know that you can't get out of it. That's why I feel for an awful lot of people, and that's why I hate these people. Hate is something, it's not a word that I used in terms of, my feelings about people. I have to tell you, I don't know. And I was having a conversation with a subscriber. I don't know. Because it's such I would think, very powerful, feeling. I think it would motivate people to want to cause harm to others. That is not how I feel. I walk away. I can't tolerate the disgusting, despicable, reprehensible, just these people with no moral core whatsoever. They do so much destruction by their mere existence, lying over and over and over again.
Nice.
I can't. Okay, what you could do? Never Lose Truth 1 in the search bar. Click on it. Playlists. Do I have playlists for this? No. I've been posting a lot of videos. Weather modification, directed energy weapons, artificial electromagnetic frequencies, 1968 frequency chart, nanotechnology, how to wreck the environment, 1968 warning about man controlling the weather. Atmospheric temperature modification, heat waves, how man can induce heat waves. JFK and LBJ talked about weather modification. Hurricane and tornado control device, artificial clouds, how man manufactures clouds. The reason for all of this, FEMA buying out homes, then destroying all structures, creating green space to move people into cities where they can have more and more control of every aspect of their life. The campfires, directed energy weapons, U.S. military weaponized bacteria. Oh my God. Well, people are stupid, and dangerously so. Nanotechnology making our weather. That's Never Lose Truth 1. How about 2? That's this channel. A whole lot of videos. Do I have playlists here? Yes. Nanotechnology, Australia fires, weather weapons, directed energy weapons, with a lot of videos, facts, documents, evidence. Not my opinion. Agenda 21 and 2030. And then put in Never Lose Truth 3. 3. Playlists? Nope. I have to develop them. Here. Nanobots in West Coast fires. Nanobots in West Coast fires release payloads. How about that Lytton, British Columbia fire that leveled? It was a smaller Paradise, California. All of the modification, all of the many, many methods that they have now, and people still won't look into it. They still won't look into it. Don't leave me a comment saying, oh, just take a vacation. You've been doing this too long. I think what I feel is quite appropriate to what we are experiencing today. So, Yeah. A lot on weather and how man is controlling it.